Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. How you doing? I hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things that you love. Let me just double check for a second before I get into it that my microphone is connected because I've been having hashtag problems. I think we're okay. Guys, what an interesting start to the day. It's the 30th of December. Happy 30th of December. Not that that's a thing. Happy weekend. Happy New Year's Eve. It's game day eve as well. So much to talk about. We wake up this morning to the news that maybe Tottenham are 180ing on the habit of a lifetime and actually getting stuff done. And there's been a bunch of updates. I mean, if you haven't been online in the last couple of hours, and maybe you haven't seen it, but even if you have in the last couple of hours, you might not have seen the latest update that came out just a couple of minutes ago from Fabrizio Romano. And it is, of course, about our centre-back search. Will it be Dragusin? Will he be dragging us into a title race? Will it be Jean-Claire Todibo? Of course, Twitter's gone mad. I happen to voice an opinion about it, and I have people once again going after me for my weight. Going after me for my previous opinions. I mean, it's such a trash app, but you love it at the same time. Guys, I hope you are all happy and healthy doing the things you love with people that you love doing them with. Please do me a favor. As always, guys, you know how much I appreciate your appreciation by smashing the like button for me on the video. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. There's 115 of you in the house already. Wow. Just with 2 seconds in. I love it. Apologies for being a couple of minutes late, by the way, as well. We got to get through some stuff. Let's start with those. By the way, this stream is not just about Gallagher and Dragusin or Todibo. There's also a little bit of other news out there regarding an interesting player, a really interesting player out of Germany called MANU KONE that Tottenham have suddenly entered the race for. Don't know if it's all just noise and speculation. It seems like the noise around Gallagher is pretty serious as well. So maybe all this stuff is secondary, but we're going to go through it. Look at that player. Really interesting player, by the way. We're also going to be looking at, thanks to my man, John at the Cheese Room, who's been texting me last night and bringing to my attention, John Williams, shout out to him, about some links that, some insight that he's got. And apparently he knows someone, or someone he knows someone who knows someone who's very close to someone at the board. So it could be a couple of degrees of standard deviation, but they come up with a couple of names that we're looking at out of Atalanta. And they're also very interesting players. So I thought we'd go through a little bit of that. But obviously we're going to start with the most sort of high-tier, high-profile news. Before we do, let me say hello to a few people, shall we? Lerionka was first in the house. What's happening, Lerionka? Good to see you. Good to see you. Callum Roche is also in the house. Both of the members of the channel. Morning, Sean. Gallagher and Dragusin early, plus an attacker, and it's a pretty good window for me. 100%, mate. Friend of the show, Adam William Cahill, text me earlier saying, how would you fancy if you could get Dragusin, Gallagher, and a Jota? I'm not mad about Jota. I think he'd be okay. How do I say it? I'm not overwhelmed by it. I'm not underwhelmed by it. I'm appropriately whelmed by him. I can see the logic of it, just like I can see the logic. I could have seen the logic around Manuel Solomon, but then Manuel Solomon kind of, been injured, but when he wasn't injured, sort of did everything that you kind of know that the only thing he does. Jota is a bit of a question mark for me over his fitness, his ambitions. Why did he go to Saudi Arabia at 24 years old? I don't know. But look, very talented player on his day and someone that we could really use the help of. But there's other players out there in the wing system that I think is a better choice or are better choices. But we'll talk about that. But what's really interesting, guys, is the fact that we've already got the confirmation as well that Hugo Lloris is leaving. He's going off to, I think it's Los Angeles, isn't it? Or somewhere in America, somewhere in the MLS. And that his goodbye game or goodbye wave send-off is tomorrow against Bournemouth. Now, I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean, is he going to start the game and then come off as a sub after like 11 minutes or whatever? Is it just a pre-game kind of, thank you for everything you've done? Is it a post-match, thank you for everything you've done? I don't know what that means. There's not been any kind of insight into what that means, apart from that it's been confirmed that it's his send-off. And I don't know what the right thing to do there is. Do you start the game against Bournemouth, bearing in mind that in the last few games we played against Brighton, we were under the cosh early. Could have been 4-0 down if it wasn't for saves, spectacular saves in the first 5 minutes by our goalkeeper, Vicario. Same thing happened against Newcastle. It wasn't Vicario that saved, it was Ben Davies at the back post. But Nottingham Forest, we gave up an early chance. We give up early chances all of a sudden. And so if there's some kind of like bigger picture, well-wishing, giving one last appearance for 10 minutes before you sub him, I don't know how you feel about that one, guys. Let me know in the comments. Are we seeing the wood for the trees here? Do you just give him the last 5 minutes, or do you wait until after the game? I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out who else is in the house anyway. Tony Rodriguez in the house. Big up, mate. How you doing? The Grand Potato. Le Grand Pomme de Terre. Oh no, Pomme de Terre's apple, isn't it? Sorry. Liston Hines is in the house. Yeah, Grand Potato saying wherever we get Todibo or Dragusin, I'd be very happy knowing we got another centre back. Yeah. Listen, by the way, like I say, I've got to go through. I feel like I always have to, when you put an opinion out on Twitter, you get attacked by other people who love to give their opinions but don't like other people giving theirs. Like, they forget that it's an opinion platform and no one knows what's happening. No one's got a massive insight. People just are allowed to have opinions, but you get attacked about it. Doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me on YouTube. It sort of bothers me a bit more on Twitter because I'm not as familiar with Twitter. I feel like I've got a very thick skin, both literally and metaphorically on YouTube. I can handle the kind of the jabs and the jibes in the comments on YouTube. But Twitter, for some reason, it annoys me a little bit more. Anyway, good to see you, Liston. Phoenix in the house. There's that handsome bug. Oh, thank you very much, Ray. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Loud and clear. Nice. You can see me. The Vox coming through there. The voice. Nice. I like the fact that you're using some terminology there. I'm guessing that's voice FX or something. Strata's in the house. RBT, if we get Gallagher, I'll be happy. So will I, mate. I'll explain. I've already explained why before, but you know what? For the benefit of those in the back, there's plenty of reasons why he is not the perfect player, but he might just be the perfect player for Tottenham. And homegrown is a massive part of that. You can't lie. This Dragusin guy looks absolutely terrible. I did a video on this kid in November. His stats at the time, I was underwhelmed with. His stats now are even worse when it comes to the things that are the kind of indirectly crucial parts of a defender. I understand people say, look, I like my defenders to be able to defend. You know what? He is a defender who can defend. He's brilliant at defending. Like, he's a great tackler. He's strong. His positional play is fantastic. He's great in the air. He's deceptively quick. Got no concerns about any of that stuff. And I like his long balls. I think he can ping long balls, even though if you look at the stats, they look absolutely shocking. But I actually have seen him on the Y Scout tool ping balls for days, pinging more than someone at Glastonbury. But I just have a concern about his low ground passes, and you think to Romero, and you think, what's his best part of Romero's game? Probably his passing, his ability to whip the ball in at pinpoint accuracy into the feet of a midfielder and get the ball progressed up the field. I don't think I share the same confidence in Dragusin. Anyway, Stefan's here. Wherever we get in a centre back will be better than what we have. Yep, true. Derek Smith's in the house. I saw a story that Spurs are looking at Koki Makeda for £15 million euros. I haven't seen that. We'll have a look for that. Shall we? I'll start that and have a look. You finally get to catch a live. What, are you somewhere else? Hug the Lover Bear? Where are you, in Australia or something? Is that why? Yeah, I usually go live in the afternoon, so maybe it's the middle of the night for you. Good to see you, mate. Happy to have you here. Callum Rosh is in the house. We've seen hello. Kate's here as well. Sean, sorry it's late. The people are shocking personal attacks on people doing this updates for us. Oh, it's all right. I don't really care. Ella, thank you though, Kate. Ella Shivon. Sean, have you seen Ali Gold's video? He quoted from Celtic this time last year saying they had lots of hamstring injuries until players got used to his system. Ange is not bothered. Haven't seen Ali Gold's video, to be honest. Was it out last night? Was it? I'll go and check that out. Oh yeah, big up Aaron. So Aaron sent me a comparison video. I'm going to bring this up right now. Well, actually, I'll bring it up in a second. Of Todibo versus Dragusin, and I asked him, "Oh, can you also do me a favor and get me one? Because I don't have access to the app that he uses for it. Can you get me one for Gallagher against Højbjerg?" So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Stephen's in the house. Big up, big up, big up. Slim Boy Tubbs. I like that name. Simon Foxall. I really don't believe that Gallagher nonsense. It is nonsense. It's fictional as Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Bible. I'll eat a pair of your pants if it happens. Okay, how do we clip this? Let me get a screenshot of that. You know what, Simon? As much as I like your confidence in the opinion, you're not really. It's a little bit of a lose-lose, isn't it? You know, because you're not really asking me to put up anything in return on that one. I really hope that it is true. I share your skepticism about Chelsea wanting to do business with Tottenham. But you know what? It's new owners, and the new owners might not have the same apathy, the same appreciation for relationships and rivalries as previous owners did. Maybe they're just sitting there going, we need to spend 150 million quid on a goalkeeper and a striker to get us out of this quagmire. And the only way we can do that is by raising money on the FFP. And the only way they can do that is by selling homegrown assets. And the only ones that are really sellable are Conor Gallagher and or Trevor Chalobah. You know, and Chalobah's got injury issues. So we'll find out. But Simon, I'll keep a pair back. I've got about 400 pairs for Christmas. So you can have a pair of the ones that I haven't worn. All right. Why does this guy look like a 1940s detective? I mean, I've been called worse things today. She? It's all in the thing, she? Appropriately whelmed. Exactly, mate. Appropriately whelmed. That's exactly what I am. You should buy a pipe. I have got a pipe downstairs. It's more of a ceremonial thing. Centre backs first, then look at striker, etc. Yeah, 100%. Paul Peters in the house and a monocle. LAFC is where he's gone, isn't it? Yeah. What is that? Is that like the new LA Galaxy? Is there a second team in Los Angeles? Anyone who's from America? I doubt there's any Americans watching. It's too early in the morning. Farewell, Hugo. What a player for the club, 100%. I cannot see any top team selling one of their first team squad players to another top 10 team in the January window. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's interesting, Daniela. Yeah, it doesn't usually happen. Stu Greenhill's new member. Thank you, Stu. Really appreciate you, your loyalty, mate, and your appreciation of the channel. Shout out to you, my buddy. Hopefully, I've said this for so long, I'm terrible at doing it. I'm going to get the kind of members only content or member fanning things going in 2024. I'm so terrible. I don't do that many live streams or as many as I would like to because of work commitments, but that's all going to change, I think, next year. Who else haven't I said hello to yet? Yeah, that name. I'm not saying that out loud. They already hate me. They already demonetize me every stream and unsubscribe people from the channel and all that stuff. But good to see you. Grant, Echo Sonic. Surely Hugo won't play. Ange doesn't strike me as a sentimental type. Yeah, exactly. Moondog, super chat. Big up, Moondog. You can't let Larry start or play. Big up. Good to see you, Moondog. I don't think you should. I don't think you should either. I was trying to think of what the word was, and you're right. It's sentimentality. But I don't know that they've said that it's going to be his send-off, his farewell game. So I don't know what that means. Like, we need to infer, read between the lines, you know? Hi, Mark. How you doing? Who else we got? Roy Vickens in the house. Big up, Roy. Thank you for the super chat. Happy New Year, Sean. What a year for the channel. It's been an awesome year for the channel, mate. I can't remember, but I think in January the 1st last year, I think I was at like 5,000 or something. So, yeah, it's grown like fourfold in the year. So, appreciate you all. Appreciate you all from the day ones to the day today. Everyone that's joining, welcome. Make yourselves at home. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. Who else haven't I said hello to? Keith Edwards. I really appreciate that, Roy. Sorry, mate. Thank you so much, man, for the support on the channel, mate. Really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Is it Sean, or Sean? It's Sean, first Sean. Who else haven't I said hello to? Sniffer's in the house. Abby is here. Good to see you. Drew Zilla's in the house. Big up, Drew. What's going on, mate? King Mod. Big up, Sean. Hope you're well. Just finished watching your last morning walk. Great as always. Appreciate that. It's a little somber, if a little somber. Well, no, the last walk was just really about, I was just trying to read between the lines on what Ange said, and I didn't know whether what he was saying was just like an overreaction, like an emotional reaction after a game that he's lost, and he wants to kind of find an excuse. Why's my hair popping up? Or whether he's trying to like infer something. And if the latter's true, and he's saying the boys did everything they could, they're absolutely exhausted. It's a very taxing system we play for 11 players to play too frequently. And I'm kind of like, how frequently is too frequently? Because we played 19 Premier League games and 1 cup game, so 20 games in the 20 games this season, of which 3 of them have been in the last 10 days. Everything else has been 1 game a week. If you play in Europe, then you will have played about 30 games by now, especially if you did well in the Carabao Cup as well. And so my inference was just that if he's being sincere, that we're not 3 players away. We're about 8 or 9 players away from having a team that is capable of playing his version, of football twice a week. And that's quite concerning, I think, because I don't know. And even then, you're still going to have injuries. I know we've had a lot of injuries, but I think that's just part and parcel, isn't it? So, big fan from down under. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Dragusin, here we go. Is there a here we go out? No, it's not. No, we're going to get into it, guys. Listen, everyone, there's loads of people in the house. If I haven't said hello to you, then apologies, but I'm saying hello to you as a group now. Let's get into the news, guys, shall we? Obviously, let me get this Twitter stuff up. Where's all the... Hang on, let me get to the profile. So, the first bit of news is... This came out yesterday. Understand Tottenham want a new centre-back deal sealed by next week. Todibo talks on, but if it won't be done shortly, Spurs have another plan. Told Spurs have now opened talks with Genoa for Radu Dragusin. Bid could be sent soon. That was last night, ladies and gentlemen. But then... Where's it gone? Hang about. Let's get it. Oh, this app is terrible. Fabrizio Romano in the last... Here we go. In the last couple of minutes... Tottenham are prepared to send the first verbal bid for Radu Dragusin, or Dragusin. I don't know how you say his name, but I prefer Dragusin because you can use it in a conversation like he's going to drag us into a relegation battle if you look at the stats. The Radu Dragusin, after talks open with Genoa, as revealed last night, Dragusin has already said yes. Todibo deal could collapse soon as timing with OFC Nice will be slow and Tottenham want a new centre-back to join next week. Look, let's just start with... Well, before I get into it, let me show you what I wrote back. All I wrote was, I'm unconvinced by Dragusin's passing. Can you see this on the screen? Let me have a look. Make sure you can see this. Yeah, you can. I'm unconvinced by Dragusin's passing. Todibo is my preference by an absolute mile. That doesn't mean that I don't like Dragusin. Doesn't mean that I think that Dragusin's a bad defender. I think he's an excellent defender. And I've had 43 comments telling me that basically I don't know what I'm talking about. And that because of and this is a common theme, the Van de Ven Tapsoba saga. So because everybody wanted Tapsoba, we got Van de Ven. No one saw that coming, and Van de Ven was excellent. That means that opinions about Dragusin are irrelevant, or comparisons between between Dragusin and Tapsoba, Dragusin and Todibo are exactly the same thing. And that is the biggest fallacious argument I've ever heard. For what it's worth, whilst Van de Ven has been an absolute monster at Tottenham, and I couldn't be happier and I wouldn't swap him for anyone, it's not as if Tapsoba's had a bad season. He's, if not the best, then second or third best centre-back in Europe at the moment. Like... So, because Van de Ven worked out, it doesn't mean that Tapsoba wouldn't have done. It doesn't mean that Tapsoba's a bad deal. It doesn't mean that we were wrong or we were right or anything else. It's just two things can be true at once. We chose a certain timeline, a certain reality, went in that direction, and it's been successful. But that has absolutely no basis or bearing on the situation between Todibo and Dragusin. Now, for me, I've said all along, anyone who watches this channel, I've said I really like Dragusin as a defender. I think as a defender who defends, he's very, very good. He can tackle, he can intercept. His timing of his reading of the game, his spatial awareness. He's tall. He's built like a warrior. Everything about him looks great, apart from one of the key areas that's less important in some people's eyes, who think that a defender needs to defend and that's it. And to other people who think, well, actually, in this day and age and in this system, you need a defender who can break the line, who can break the press, or at least can zip passes along the ground, easy, high conversion, high percentage probability conversion passes. And to me, Dragusin, from what I've seen using the Y-Scout tool, and I've got into depth on it, I don't see enough consistency in his passing. And I think that that is a concern. It doesn't mean that he can't learn. It doesn't mean he can't improve. It doesn't mean I don't rate him as a player. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that that's an observation I have. And if you were to offer me Todibo or Dragusin, I would have Todibo. And the vitriol that comes your way for daring to have an opinion from people who spend all day on this app giving their own opinions about things like the hypocrisy. It doesn't. Sometimes I sit there and go, I don't honestly know what planet some people are on, that they think that they're the only people that are allowed an opinion, and everybody else is, especially if they disagree with you. If you disagree with them, then your opinion is not allowed. It's absolutely wrong at the basis, and also they conflate. They think because they look at a player they haven't heard of on YouTube, they assume that you do. And it doesn't matter how many times you tell them, no, I pay a lot of money for a tool that can zone in on certain areas of a player's ability, and I can watch hundreds and hundreds of clips of them doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm not just looking at the very best 5 minutes of footage of a player. I'm looking at hours of content of just his passing. No. I don't do that, so you don't do that. So what do you know about it? I'm going to trust Tottenham scouting over you, you armchair fan. All right. Listen, for what it's worth, I also trust Angie's and the scouting team at Tottenham over my research. 100%. That doesn't mean that we're not allowed to opine. And for me, Dragusin is a good player. I'm happy to have him. I'd much rather have him in the 11 than the current 11, or than the 11 we put out on Friday night, Thursday night. But let me have a look, see, and show you. Let me see if I can show you this. Can I show you this? How do I get this off there? Screenshots. Yeah, here we go. Just if we wanted a bit of validation, then hang about. That's not what I need. Stop screen, present, share screen, window. This is a bit of an easy comparison. Thank you to Aaron for the chat, for the share. This is, let me get rid of that branding. I believe this is over the last 365 days. Jean-Claire Todibo versus Radu Dragusin, both under the age of 24. I mean, this is a per 90 stat, right? Radu Dragusin is 9.4 passes completed. The percentage of them is going forward is less than 20%. I mean, I think it validates the concern about his on the ball stuff. He's very good in the air. I mean, for what it's worth, the blue, of course, is Todibo. Todibo is unbelievable at progressive passes in terms of, I think this is 100%. So the outer circle, the circumference is 100%. It's in the top 1 percentile, the very best in the league. And look, you can see that no one passes the ball more progressively as well. Forward passes, very few do. Defensive actions, Todibo's involved in all of them. Defensive duels, percentage 1 is incredibly high. Ball carrying, he ticks all the boxes defensively, and he ticks all of the boxes with the ball at his feet as a progressive defender. There is no comparison. Dragusin's a good player. I know this doesn't look like he is, but he is a good player. When you watch it on the Y-Scout, you can see he's a very good player. But the stats don't lie. They are stats, they are facts. And it is a concern. But I'd rather have him than Lloyd Kelly. I'd rather have him than many other defenders we've been linked with, than Ben Godfrey, than, I don't know, take your pick. We've gone through hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. But it's not going to happen. Todibo's not going to happen. Dragusin probably is. I'd love Todibo. Maybe people are saying we're going to get him in the summer. You want the blue one, Drew? I want the blue one too, buddy. So do I. Todibo plays in a much easier league. Yeah, there is a bit of that, but I'm not sure if that makes up for the. I mean, both leagues aren't as difficult as the Premier League, right? So, listen, I'm not pooing. I'm going to take this down because I'm not poo-pooing on Dragusin. I don't want it to come across like I'm not in favour of him. I am. I like him as a footballer. My point is just, it's okay to have a preference. It's okay to have an opinion that one is more desirable than the other. And for me, I think we should all still wish Dragusin to happen. And look, it's happening soon, right? And this is the great news. If it does happen, this is the best part about it. You lost Romano until February. Van der Ven will be back, hopefully, for the Brentford game. It'd be nice to have Dragusin in. It'd be great to have Dragusin in. And then maybe we'll go again in the summer. Maybe we won't. Maybe something else will happen in that time. But what I think that there is room in the homegrown, because of the homegrown thing. The reason why, I got very confident that we were going to get an early deal done as soon as I heard about the Hugo Lloris news. The fact that his contract is being torn up on January 1st means that there is now a space available for us in the non-homegrown quota, which would allude you to think that you'll be able to get somebody in straight away. But there's no room for a second player until you liquidate either an Eric Dyer or maybe an Ivan Perisic is going to have his contract terminated and moved to Hajduk Split. There was a lot of rumors about that. But at the moment, we're chock-a-block with players in the non-homegrown. And obviously, the homegrown is filled with players that aren't good enough. And there's no limit to how many homegrown players you can want. But in an ideal world, when you look at players like Alfie Whiteman, Brandon Austin, 24 years old, 25 years old, never really done anything competitively in their career, at least not at Tottenham. They're there for the homegrown thing. Ryan Sessegnon's a homegrown player, but he spends the whole time on the injury list. If you were to bring in someone like a Conor Gallagher, then you can just move someone out on that list very easily. So I don't expect us to get to bring in a second non-homegrown player this window until you hear about an exit from the club from someone else. Hugo Lloris is the first. We probably need somebody else, and it might be Eric Dyer. And if Eric Dyer digs his heels in again, then that again might be the kind of end to the idea of signing one of these other guys. Let's see what people are saying in the comments quickly. It's a low risk move, says Jamie Allen. It doesn't work out. We have 3 other good young centre backs to fall back on. I don't know how. I haven't actually seen on any of these tweets. Have I seen anything here? It hasn't actually mentioned anything to do with the price. Can anyone let me know? Has anyone seen a suggested price for this guy? All we know is that he's agreed to the move, but nothing else. Haven't heard of anything else. Anyway, so we'll park that conversation for a second, guys. We'll park that conversation for a second, and then we're going to get back up the Twitter thing. So we'll stop sharing that. We'll just share it again. Share screen. And then we go to Twitter. And then we see a little bit later, a little bit earlier this morning than the first one. Then we see profile likes. Then we go and we see this thing. Bum. Spurs are in talks with Chelsea FC trying to reach an agreement for Conor Gallagher's move. There's actually someone else that said, I forget who it was, who had 180,000. Let me look at it and I'll show you. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, I should have had all this stuff done. Yeah, here we go. Pedro Almeida. He's a Portuguese transfer specialist, I believe. Oh, what's going on there? What are we doing here? Doing it again. Tottenham are in advanced talks and are very close to reach an agreement for the transfer of Conor Gallagher for around 40 million euros, which is about 35 million pound, guys. Now, this guy, for me, he doesn't tick everyone's box. I know that. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. But for me, I think it makes the most sense. I've already explained there's the homegrown issue, right? You've got Brennan Johnson, who some people like him, some people are patient, some people don't like him. I'm willing to give the guy time. And you've got James Maddison and you've got Ben Davies. If you still want Ben Davies at the football club, they're the 3 homegrown players that I think most people. What's going on with my camera? That I think most people would want to. Where's my camera out of focus? What are you doing? Wake up. That better? I have to do. Or is it just my eyes? Maybe I've got cataracts. Can you see me clearly, guys? Can you see me okay? Looks really, really fuzzy. So you've got the homegrown thing, right? So you've got. If you like Ben Davies, we'll count him 1. If you like James Maddison, everyone does. You count him 2. If you like the Brennan Johnson, you got 3. After that, and you need 7 or 8, don't you? I think you need 8. After that, you've got Ryan Sessegnon. Who wants Ryan Sessegnon at the football club anymore? He's hanging on. He's stealing a living. You've got Ollie Skip. I'm not sure. Some people might think he's got potential. I don't. I think he's not at the level we want to be. I think he's good in some aspects. He can get back and tackle, but I don't think he can get forward and pass the ball. I think his passing's really, really off for me most of the time. Then you have people like Brandon Austin and Alfie Whiteman who aren't doing it, who won't do it ever. You bring in Conor Gallagher, you immediately level up. It makes it then far easier to have a conversation around Ryan Sessegnon or Ollie Skip or one of the 2 goalkeepers. It even makes it easier to have a long-term conversation about Ben Davies, even though I don't think he should be cut from the squad ahead of anyone else to make room for Conor Gallagher. And Conor Gallagher is a perfect player. He's not the perfect player. As I've said this 100 times now. He's not the. There we go. The camera's back on. Good boy. Conor Gallagher is not the perfect player, but he might just be the perfect player for us. Not only does he help our homegrown situation massively, but he is a professional of the 10th degree. He's always been known wherever he goes as an incredible trainer. He wants to learn. He works hard. He's a proper workhorse. He's got a good range of passing. I know he had a terrible game against Wolves. People will point to the Wolves game last week and say, look how terrible he was. And he was absolutely terrible. But he's Chelsea's best player in my opinion this season. And I think that he used to score goals at Palace when he was played far more advanced. Now he's played far more deep. But that's the benefit of him, right? You can use him in a variety of different ways. And again, guys, going back to what Ange said last night or the night before last, Thursday night, this system is incredibly taxing. With all the injuries we have, with apparently all the low energy levels we have, you're going to need someone with high energy levels who can occasionally play a 6 if you need to, occasionally play an 8 if you need to, and occasionally play a 10. He's better than Lo Celso. He's better than Højbjerg. In fact, let me. I haven't even looked at this, so I might be mudding myself here by bringing this up. But let's have a look. Where's my app? Here we go. Aaron sent me through. Ooh, it's not that close. It's not that. You can make the argument here that Pierre Højbjerg is a better player according to these comparison stats. Love a bit of self-mudding, guys. Don't you just love it? Let's bring it up and show you what is going on here. So I asked Aaron to do the same thing with that kind of octagon thing. And let's have a look. I haven't looked at it yet. Where is it? Here we go. So this is, it's not that, they're different. They're clearly very different, but it's a bit more of a balanced conversation than the last one, isn't it? Højbjerg is in the blue. Conor Gallagher is in the pink. Gallagher's only 23, obviously a lot of time on his side. Not a lot of difference between their passing. Not a lot of difference between key passes, forward passes. They're very similar. Progressive passes, Højbjerg takes it by a country mile. Gallagher, maybe the rumours about him being more of a Harry Sideways is more true. In terms of duels, Højbjerg just takes the biscuit. In terms of defensive actions, Højbjerg just takes the biscuit, not by a lot. In terms of carrying the ball, though, is where Conor Gallagher steps up. And in terms of forward passes, once again, So Conor Gallagher's not someone who likes to play the ball forward too much. This is interesting. It doesn't change my opinion about him, but it does level the balance of the argument some way. Let's have a look. We could do better than Gallagher, says JR. Let's get to the comments. Let's see what everyone's saying in the comments. Let me start a little bit higher up, actually. Let me zoom back. Talking Beer saying, or Lerionka's saying, I think Gallagher will happen. 40 million euros, Eddies Ahmet. Not 40 million pounds. So what's that? 35 million, 36 million pound. I think that is a bargain if it happens. I'm very much on board it. I think he has a lot of variety. And again, you can finance it by selling Højbjerg and maybe selling Lo Celso, and then you sort of clear out two non-homegrown player spots. You bring in a homegrown. You're rebalancing everything. Allows you to go after someone else, someone like whoever, a Jota or whoever else we're going to look for in the non-homegrown space. Guys, there's 420 people in the house. Really cool of you to swing by. Can you, I don't often ask, but can you smash the like button for me? I don't often ask. I ask on every video at least once, don't I? I'll ask again. Can you smash the like button for me? And hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're just about to get to 21K. We're about 30 people away from 21K. Lerionka's saying he thinks it will happen. Talking Beer saying it's too expensive. Homegrown tax and all 45 to 50 million. Is it worth it? Well, according to these reports today, 35 million pound. 50 million pound, I think it is too expensive. At 35, I think there's value. I think it's interesting. Of course, you still got this. Is Chelsea going to do business with us? Would we want to do business with Chelsea? If the shoe fits, if the shoe fits. But yeah. Where does that leave Alfie Devine's route to the team? How old is Alfie Devine right now? Alfie Devine is 19. Well, so he can come back next year and go back into the sit in the kind of youth. He can still be a first team player, but sit in the youth team, sort of like how Sarr and Udogi's doing it right now. So he'll have a space in the squad. And in terms of access to the team, look, at the end of the day, the cream rises. He's either got it or he hasn't. I think Alfie Devine looks the real deal. I know Brian Daigle's been banging on about Devine for ever since I've known the guy. I think we showed on the last video we did here, the last live stream, I think we showed a clip of him on Twitter pinging balls left and right. A real talent. But, at the end of the day, I want the best players in the first team, and sentimentality for homegrown players or club developed players is nice, but ultimately, it plays second fiddle in my mind. This is why I think a lot of people have a soft spot for Ollie Skip. But at the end of the day, is he good enough? If Alfie Devine's good enough, then he should have access to the first team. It should always be a meritocracy. Life should always be a meritocracy. If you're good enough, it shouldn't matter how old you are. It shouldn't matter what the color of your skin. It shouldn't matter your gender, your whatever. None of that stuff should matter. If you're good enough, you should get your chance. But it doesn't work that way. Skip has to go, blood. He's got to go. Yeah. Yeah. MJ Marquez, hello, Sean. Hope all is good with you and Bugsy. Bugsy, no, see that this is the thing. I'm doing a live stream today. I forgot to tell you all. I know you all prefer Bugsy to me. She sliced her paw open last night. And I was supposed to be doing a big fat Tottenham quiz of the year today at 7:00. Had to cancel that. And yeah, she's got because all the vets are closed, obviously, it's Saturday. So we're going to try and trying to confirm an emergency appointment with someone this evening. It's probably going to cost a fortune. We don't even know how it happened. She was walking around the kitchen and all of a sudden, she just one of her pads has just been sliced open, and it's kind of like that. It's kind of come apart. So she's, poor thing's in agony, blood everywhere. Spent up all night long with her, kind of wrapping her, changing her wounds because she's trying to gnaw at it and pull off the dressing that I put on it. And apparently that's the worst thing they can do is lick their wounds. So I'm shattered. But Bugsy's not doing too good. What was the rest of your thing? I'm finding strange why Chelsea would sell their captain to us. Other than that, I agree Todibo would be better, but not sure we'll be able to do it. Yeah, I don't think Todibo is going to happen. And I think the only rationale for Conor Gallagher coming to Tottenham is that Chelsea have priorities that they want to do, and they can't do it without selling some homegrown players. So I'm just surprised it would be him and not someone like Trevor Chalobah, because Trevor Chalobah's got a good price tag in him. And I'm sure there's a lot of players, a lot of clubs that would like an English centre-back of talent. So I'm surprised that he's not first on the list to go rather than Gallagher. But I'll take either of them, to be honest. I like Trevor Chalobah. Donovan is here. What's happening, Donovan? Good to see you. Madison, Benton, Gallagher midfield would be up there with the best midfielders in the country. Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. And then the B team would be Bissouma, Sarr, and Decky. You can rotate, can't you? That's the thing. That's why it makes sense. And you got Alfie Devine next year as well. Like people were saying, Alfie Devine coming back. You can get rid of Skip. You can get rid of Højbjerg. You can get rid of Lo Celso, and you settle with 7 or 8 players that are of that caliber. You're going to have injuries, but surely not as many as we've had this year. I think it'll be sensational. Sensational. 35 million for Gallagher is possible. On an okay price tag, 100%. Sess is a scrub, says Lerionka. Gallagher's better than Højbjerg and Skip combined. Yeah, I agree. The stats don't suggest that, by the way, but I'm really surprised by those stats. How he's saying Gallagher will allow us to jettison Højbjerg and Lo Celso. Skip is championship level, 100%. Martin Walton, he loves Gallagher, but I don't think he's a 6. I think he's an 8, to be honest. I think he's box to box. When you've got that kind of that willingness to get around, I think he's more of an 8. But look, at Crystal Palace, he played as a 10, and he got, what did he get, like 7 goals, 8 goals, maybe more. And then this year he's playing more, more as an 8, and doesn't really do that. That doesn't really score that many goals for Chelsea. Yeah, don't care about the stats. Yeah, the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the forward passing percentages, because you don't like sideways passes do frustrate the life out of me. I didn't realize he was quite that low in comparison to Højbjerg, who I didn't even really credit as being a particularly progressive passer of the ball. So relatively speaking, that's a little bit of a concern. I didn't see that, didn't know that, and I hadn't observed that, but I'm still on board it, because I think the pros massively outweigh the cons, especially at 35 million. Ren's in the house. Big up, Ren. How you doing? Good to see you. Selling their captain to Spurs, inconceivable, but it would be tops. Yeah. Imagine Pochettino stealing Chelsea as 12th and selling Chelsea's best captain to Tottenham. He's still one of our own, isn't he? He's still one of our own. If Dragusin falls through, loan Skip to Bournemouth for Kelly and getting Gallagher. That's not a bad idea. Well, yeah. Lloyd Kelly. It's all gone quiet on that one, isn't it? I think because he's injured. And I think we're looking to bring in someone who's ready now to come in and help us now. And signing players that are injured isn't going to help in that regard, right? So I think that the Lloyd Kelly thing is the timing of it. The timing of that injury is really, really unlucky for him. You want the yellow one? What's the yellow one? What did I bring up that was yellow? Not sure. Compare Skip to. I don't have access to it, so Aaron sends me these things. I don't know what that app is, to be honest. What else we got going here? Gallagher isn't good enough, in my opinion, as a 6, and doesn't have any output to justify an 8 or a 10. Wow. You just don't like the guy. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move down a little bit. Poor Bugsy. Yeah, poor Bugsy. Let's collect money for Bugsy. Don't need money. I'm okay, mate. It's all fine. Long live the Bugsy. Yeah. Look. Oh, look. All you guys. Bloody hell. If I said to you I've got the flu, I don't think I'd get 10 get better soon, Sean's. A little bit of Bugsy love. Jeez, look at this. Wow. She understands English, so I will tell her. I'll send her on your best wishes. Unbelievable amount of love for Bugsy. I've got a cone for her. I put it on and she shakes it off. She hates the cone. She doesn't like it. She'll go mental, just running around the house, like trying to pull it off and smashing everything up. Well, let's get past the Bugsy stuff. I do appreciate you're all well wishes, guys. Agreed. He is an 8. This is Conor Gallagher. Yeah, 35 ain't bad. I wasn't talking pounds. Yeah. It wasn't taking that into account. Jaden's unhappy with the club as how they have dealt with Lloris, a legend, as they just sold him like a normal player. He put in a good shift for the club and my legend growing up. Yeah, look, I understand you feel that way. No problem feeling that way. I mean, he'll get his goodbye. Not every player gets a goodbye. He'll get some sort of, like I say, excuse me, I've got a really itchy nose. I just don't know what the intentions are. And for me, again, sentimentality comes into play. 3 points is really important. We start games slow. So if there's any intention to give him like start him in the game, then I'm not up for that. I'm not up for that at all. I'd let him come back in the summer and do a friendly, have like a testimonial / pre-season friendly in the summer if he wants to come back. You know, and we'll give him the gate receipts or whatever you do for that sort of thing. But I don't really want him on the as part of the starting 11 in that game. As much as I respect what he's done for Tottenham, although I've got to be honest, something smelt fishy about the way he didn't come out for the second half at Newcastle. Felt a lot like he had an argument at half time and maybe some home truths were thrown around and he went, screw this, I'm not coming out. Don't know if that's true. There's rumours about it. Other people said he was injured. I don't know. But the whole thing was a bit odd, that game. And he hasn't played since. So, does Swish exit in England? Sending money with the phone. Does Swish exist in England? I don't know what Swish is, to be honest. Is it like a payment app, like a PayPal or something? Never heard of it, buddy. I wouldn't have thought so. Agent Poch, exactly, yeah. He's really going in there and screwing them up for the long term, isn't he? Apparently, we're interested in Johan Bakayoko from PSV as our Man United. Personally, I think Spurs have more pull than Man United presently. Yeah, I wouldn't want to join Manchester United unless you are... What's going on with my nose? Really itchy. Apologies. Bakayoko's a brilliant player, by the way. I really like him. He was going to go to Nottingham Forest, wasn't he, on deadline day? Didn't go. It fell through. Really cool play off the right-hand side. Really tricky. Little bit like Doku. Maybe not quite as quick-footed as Jeremy Doku, but a really good... Excuse me, guys. I'm just going to blow my nose. 1 second. Just stay there for 2 seconds. All right, back in the game. Sorry about that. Hopefully it's going to go away now. 470 people in the house, guys. Smash a like for me if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe and all that good stuff. Well, I want to move on to the next story, but I just want to make sure I've got everyone's opinions. The yellow one was neither of them. Oh, Drew, you don't want either of those players. You don't want Højbjerg or Conor Gallagher. Interesting. Okay, I can assure you, Gallagher is playing. What does that mean? Is he playing right now for Chelsea Luton? Interesting. Do we really want to help Chelsea out with FFP? It's what's good for the goose is good for the gander, my man. Like, you know, as long as I don't really care if it's helping out, if it's helping Tottenham out, then you know you've got to pay. Someone's got to get some money, haven't they? I don't know where else you go to get a homegrown player. If you don't want to get a midfielder as a homegrown player because there's no one that tickles your fancy in that role, then you have to pivot and go, okay, well let's look at other options, right? So if you want a centre back that's homegrown, well, what options have you got there? Tosin Adarabioyo, Lloyd Kelly, who's injured, who's not going to help. Harry Maguire, who we don't want. No one else I can think of. It's off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments if you can. Fullbacks. Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton. Plays left back, plays right back. I think we have a £25 million buyback clause in his contract. But a good player as well, by the way. But for me, I wonder why was it that he didn't move and leave Southampton when they got relegated? Every other good player at the club said I want out, and he didn't. What does that tell you about his willingness to, to crack on with his career? Is he chilled and like happy and relaxed at Southampton? Is he loyal? Is that what it is? I don't know why you would have loyalty. It was not like he grew up via Southampton, so I don't think anyway. He was from Tottenham, wasn't he? But I don't know how he came to Tottenham. So question marks there. But there's an option. I guess you could do that. But I don't necessarily know if he's the real level that we're looking for. But then is he okay as a backup to come in for Udogie or for Porro, possibly? And he can certainly play the inverted role. He's done that before. Where else do you go for homegrown players? Illing Jr. in Juventus. All right. But there's a lot of risk there. He hasn't really played that much. 12 games, I think, for Juve. Good talent, but is he what we need or what we want? Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out this January. Marcus Edwards at Sporting. I think we've had to reduce our 50% sell-on clause down to 35%. If they still want 50, 60 million for him, then we'd end up essentially paying 40 million quid. Do you want Marcus Edwards? He used to have an attitude problem. Has he sorted that out? Is he still a bit too cocky? Is he going to want to come in and be a first-team regular? Listen, I like Marcus Edwards. I think he would suit the system as well. So I'm not anti that. And he comes in as homegrown. Where else do you go? Sancho at Manchester United. Massive risk with him. Massive wages. Huge amounts of question marks about his personality. Don't know who's really to blame between Ten Hag and him in that whole thing, but it was a complete mess. Trying to think where else do you go. If not, you look at the top end of the pitch. Ivan Toney, okay, possibly. But has he got his eyes set on Arsenal, probably, or Chelsea? If not him, Dominic Solanke. If not him, Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins isn't going to leave Aston Villa. Dominic Solanke isn't going to leave Bournemouth. And I put out a video about Dominic Solanke, and you lot, 99% of you universally said not interested at all. So this is the question mark. It's a really difficult conundrum for the scouting team to figure out. It would be different if we had our youth team, if our youth team crop were ready. If we've got a hell of a lot of talent down there, but if they're ready, then it's different. It's a different conversation. You can just promote them into the homegrown when they hit 22 and you're good. But if they're not ready, and I don't think most of ours are, maybe in a year or two, we're a year or two away from some of these guys being really ready, then you need to improve on it. I just don't know of those names that I mentioned, who makes the most sense that's not going to break the bank. There's another one, Nico Williams. Is that the guy? That's the guy from Bilbao, isn't it? I didn't realize. Is he homegrown? Is he, or is that a different Nico Williams you're talking about? I think Nico Williams isn't he Spanish? He's not homegrown. Nico Williams. Let's have a look. Nico Williams is a Spanish professional footballer who plays as a winger for La Liga club Athletic Bilbao. Yeah. And his brother is Inaki Williams, who plays for Ghana. I know that because I was speaking to, name drop time, Chris Hughton at the Tunnel Club for the West Ham game. I sat next to him and I was getting to know all about his what he's doing right now. He's in charge of the Ghanaian football club. He means the right back from Nottingham. Oh, okay. Oh, that Nico Williams. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Neco Williams. Marcus Edwards didn't have an attitude problem. He's a good player, Neco Williams, actually. I don't mind him. Is that who you... Let me know, guys. What's your thoughts on that one? Rooney Bargy would be brilliant. Yeah, he would be 18, so he could just come in and sit in the youth team anyway. And then if he stays at us for 3 years, then it depends how close he is to 18. I'm not sure if he would then technically qualify as homegrown. I think he might be able to squeeze it in. Here we go. Illing Jr., Marcus Edwards, Ivan Toney, Alex Scott. Alex Scott from Bournemouth, ex-Bristol. He had a bad injury, didn't he, when he first moved to Bristol, first moved to Bournemouth. Doing well. Got a super chat here from Stu Greenhill. Big up, Stu. 2 strong centre-backs would allow Romero and a Rafinha deal. Oh, you want Romero to go and you want Rafinha to come in? There's a lot of moving parts in that one. So we need to go and sign Todibo and the Dragusin, keep Van der Ven, sell Romero, buy Rafinha. Wowzers. Okay. There's a lot of moving parts, Stu. Do you know what about Romero, right? Like if you've seen, there's the two stats. So the two major stats that are like crazy. One of them is how much game time he's missed in the last 4 years, 3-4 years. I think basically he's played on average he's missed about 40% of every season in the last 3 or 4 years. And for a 23-year-old or 24, I think he is now, that's a lot, right? Either through injuries or suspensions. So you kind of go, well, can you really rely on this guy? But then at the same time, you see the other stat, and it's the amount of games that Tottenham have won without Romero. And it's so insignificant. It's such a tiny number that you kind of go, if you could find a way to keep him fit and keep him on the pitch, then Tottenham would have about like 35, 40 more points over the last 3 seasons. Because he's that consequential. His availability, his presence in the team converts us to having like 2.4 points per game or something. And when he's not there, it's like 1.7. It's ridiculous. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but it's absolutely ridiculous. So the key for me is, like, I don't think you sell him. I think you just need to find a way to get him healthy, because he's that valuable to us, even with his, disciplinary issues and stuff. Forget Tony. He wants Arsenal, says Ruth. Yeah, good player, though. Wish we signed Alex Scott, already a set-piece taker at Bournemouth. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good player. Very good player. Talking about good players, I want to show you, I can't show you these stats, but... sorry, I can show you the stats. I can't show you the footage, but I'd encourage you to go to YouTube if you haven't got Y-Scout and take a look at this guy. So, first of all, let me show you the story, just so you know I'm not making it up. Tottenham, PSG, and rival Liverpool for signing of midfielder Jurgen Klopp is obsessed with. Quadio MANU KONE is the player. Liverpool have been tracking KONE for some time. Their interest in him began in 22 and seemingly came close to getting a deal over the line in the summer. Indeed, Jurgen Klopp was keen on him, but dropped back to pursue Moises Caicedo. When the former Brighton man decided to move to Chelsea instead, have I got this on the screen? I haven't got it on the screen, have I? Donut. Here we go. When the former Brighton man moved to Chelsea instead of the Reds, they came back for KONE, which suggests he was never far from their thoughts. Christian Falk revealed at the end of the year that Mönchengladbach were expecting a bid from Liverpool, such was their interest in the midfield man. The Reds signed 4 midfielders in the summer, but each are used to playing in a slightly more advanced position than KONE's holding role. As such, signing him might well be the final piece of the puzzle, given Liverpool don't really have a natural holding midfielder. Blah, 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 blah. But Tottenham, PSG, Liverpool might rival Liverpool for KONE. That's according to Rudy Galletti, who states he is being followed by Liverpool as well as Premier League rivals Tottenham. Spurs could beat Liverpool to the track with 2 big sides in Tottenham and PSG courting him. It wouldn't be a massive shock if either of them were able to get KONE first. Let's have a look-see at the player. So he's number 6, but again, the start with the incidentals. He does play as he's like a 6 or an 8, but he can play in 3 different positions, a bit like a Conor Gallagher. He hasn't broken through to the French side yet, but he's in the under-21s. Valued at 35 million euros. His peak was 40 million euros. He's 22 years old. And his contract runs until 2026. French and Ivory Coast. Right footer. And for Mönchengladbach, who's 8 appearances this season, 1 goal, starting 11 just about half of the time, about half of the minutes in the game that he's in the season that he's played for them. And let's have a look at his stats. So we're not caring about goals and stuff. That's not his game. His passing. Oh man, sometimes these things are so. This is better. Here you go. as a midfielder. Tackles is in the top 13 percentile. He gets up the pitch, tackles in the midfield third, in the top 10 percentile. Loves to tackle a dribbler, 81 percentile. 52% of tacklers that dribblers are tackled by him. Tackles plus interceptions. In terms of defensive work, he's great. Needs to work according to the passing stats here. Where are they? Here they are. No, not here. Here they are. He's not getting on the ball as much per 90 as other people are, but he's up there with an 87 percentile passing completion, so he's pretty good. Just lots of little simple passes, right? Simple short passes. But I want to show you this stuff here. Where is it? His possession is excellent. He loves to carry the ball, loves to progressively carry it into the final third. He's a real kind of, I guess he looks a little bit like Conor Gallagher on the stats, really, right? Better at dribbling, better at carrying, not so great at passing, but superb at tackling. Take-ons attempted. He's taken on 99. He's in the top. No one in his position has taken on more players with the ball than he has in the top 5 leagues in the last 365 days. And the guy's 22 years old. And he's actually been successful with over half of them, or about half of them, which again puts him in the top 1 or 2 players in European football at doing that. Pretty impressive stuff. He's been linked with us, as has a player called Edison, who plays for Atalanta. And this is the link that came from my man John Williams at Cheese Room. A Brazilian central midfielder, again, another 6. I won't bore you with the details on this one, but you can run through it and see pretty monstrously bossy when it comes to his DM work. Top sort of 10, 15 percentile for absolutely everything you could possibly want him to do in a league, in a team that relies on defensive stability and resolution. And this guy with the ball at his feet is absolutely no slouch either. Loves to take a player on. And he does half as much as the guy KONE, but he's doing it in Germany. This guy's doing it in Italy, which is a little bit more rare. Again, top 15 percentile for getting the job done as well, 66% of the time. Loves to take players on. And when players take him on, he absolutely smashes them. I think it's just a wonderful thing when you see a player who knows how to stop someone who's doing what he does better than them. And when he's taking players on, he knows how to get round them because he knows how to stop players when they're coming at him. It's like he's mastered both sides of the art, the yin and the yang of what to do when holding the ball or when facing someone who holds the ball. Very clever player, this guy, Edison. Brazilian, so you'd expect him to be technically very good, and he is. Not sure what his valuation is like. Let's have a look, actually. I've got it here. Here we go. Share this tab instead. Look how prepared I am for the second half of this show, guys. Look how prepared I am. Are you seeing all this, by the way? You are, aren't you? Yeah. Cool. 27 million euros. He's been around the block. Started out in, I think this is all Brazil. And then gets a move over to Salernitana. And then gets to Atalanta, where he's just kept kicked on. How old is he? He's 24 years old. Obviously, we've got relationships with Atalanta, right? Because of Romano and stuff as well. So, again, a player that can play in those 3 positions. It's clear as day to me that Tottenham are prioritising a centre-back, we know that, and a midfielder. I think that much is clear. All these links now. And we want someone who's versatile. The amount of times I've used the word versatility on this channel is absolutely insane, guys. But I think it's important. I think it's the second best utility, right? Or utility, whatever. You need availability, you need versatility. And if you can do that and you're good with the ball at your feet and you know what you're doing and you can do it in a few different positions and you stay fit and you're a workhorse and you are engaged in the process, we need a couple more of these players and we are good. We are good. Let's have a look what everyone's saying. I don't know. When I was looking at those stats, I couldn't see the comments. So big up, Dell. What's happening, my man? Good to see you. We've got another super chat here. Have I missed any other super chats, by the way? No, I haven't. All good. Does Reggie stay allowing you, Doggy, to cover Sonny? Well, this is another problem, right? Serge Reguilon's coming back as a non-homegrown player. So at the moment, if he returns on January the 1st, then he takes up the space that Hugo Lloris is vacating. So I don't think he will be here. I think he'll find another home. I think he'll go back to Spain. Maybe he'll stay at Manchester United. Manchester United need him, you know. Reliability, there you go. Reliability, versatility, and availability. The illities is what we need. We call it the rules of illities. Get Branthwaite from Everton. Play well last year for PSV. I really like Branthwaite. I think he's going to be a really, really, really top level centre back. Really do think so. But he's not worth the money that they're asking for him. No chance. What else we got going on? Oh, God. I went down the wrong hole. Liam's here. Sean, do you think that Spurs are banking on the academy to be the homegrown players? No, I think we're going to sign one now in January. I could be wrong, but all the links suggest we're trying to kill two birds with one stone. We need to improve in a certain position, and we need to improve in the homegrown. The homegrown's it's a massive elephant in the room that I don't think enough people are paying attention to. We've got absolutely no quality. Ben Davies is 32 next month or next couple of months' time. Ollie Skip isn't figuring out. Ryan Sessegnon is just dead food. Two goalkeepers that are 24 and 25 and are just happy to play fourth and fifth choice at Tottenham Hotspur for their career. I mean, what are they doing? I was about to say have some self-respect, but I'm sitting here having a beer with you at 1:45. It's easy to sit there, people in glass houses, But they've done more in their life than I ever would. So congratulations to them. But I would still encourage them to go and find a professional level where they can actually play professional football. God, how dare I? The audacity of me to say have some self-respect. Look at the state of me. Conor Gallagher should be brought in. So much better than Skip and Højbjerg. I agree, Samantha. Exactly, Brian. Exactly, mate. 100%. Yeah. And on that note, time to crack open another beer. Who's joining me? No chance, Branthwaite. No chance, Branthwaite. Great player, though. Great player. Calvin Phillips. Yeah, look, another one we keep talking about on this channel. I just personally think that he is... we don't know what version of him is lurking in the background. Like, does he still have the appetite for the game? Has his mind been turned by the money that he got at City? Why hasn't he played? I remember a really good player at Leeds, but he hasn't broken into Manchester City's team. And Manchester City have gone through a bad run of form, and they still can't squeeze. He still can't squeeze himself in there at time. Have I no shame, Sean? Good to see you, Mia. But your chair is nicer than the bench the goalies were on. That's dignity. 100%, mate. 100%. I keep my pride up by living vicariously through Wayfair and the wonderful furniture they present to me. Would you take Ruben Loftus-Cheek over Gallagher? You know what? Didn't he? He's gone abroad, hasn't he? Isn't he in Italy right now? Where is he now? Yeah, Milan. I do like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I really do. But I don't know why he would leave. Why would he leave Milan? He's got a good thing going there. Yeah, Suvic's got the right words. Keep hitting the likes, guys. I don't know what likes. I haven't even looked. What likes were on. I haven't looked if there's any subscribers going in. But guys, if you are new around these here parts, smash the subscribe button for the channel. We're just around the corner from 21K, which is a nice little milestone. It would be so cool to be able to hit that before the new year. Hit the like button. I don't know. There's nearly 500 people here. There's been about 500 people here, so I'm hoping that the likes should be on at least 300. You need to get to about 60%. I used to say 50%, but you know what? I'm being bullshit today. We're at 243 likes. Come on, guys. We can get up to 300, can we? Cheers, Drew, for the update, mate. He's killing it in Milan, says KM. Yeah, exactly. Matt O'Reilly would be homegrown. Yeah. I don't know why everyone's like, a lot of people. I know Saba's mad about this guy. I know a load of people are mad about this guy. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm not saying he wouldn't work. I don't follow Scottish football enough to really know. I did a load of research on him. Well, I kind of not. Well, how do I say this? When we were getting Ange, I went and did a load of research on Celtic to understand their system, and so I was keeping an eye on what his role was in the team, and I thought he was a really good player. But it's one of these kind of like leveling up conversations. I never know. Same with Brazilian leagues. Same with a lot of like Belgium leagues. A lot of those sorts of signings. Like you can see a player that's a cut above in that league and go, "Well, look how good he is." But how often does Celtic play against a team as good as Aston Villa or Newcastle or City or Arsenal or Crystal Palace or whatever? You know, they don't. Right? They're the best team in that league. Every other team is miles beneath Celtic, and Celtic would finish probably. Where would Celtic finish? It's interesting. Where do you think if Celtic were in the Premier League, if they were to merge Celtic into the Premier League, where would Celtic finish, you reckon? Would they be halfway? Top 10? Bottom half? O'Reilly's too slow. Please call Levy and get Dragusin in. Okay. Pace is not everything in football. Yeah. Hi, Shags. I'd like my canine to marry your canine. Bugsy's had the snip, mate. And ever since then, she had a boyfriend, not one that there was ever relations with, but she had a mate down the road called Rocket, a little golden retriever, a puppy golden retriever, no, a Labrador, and they were inseparable. And then on the same weekend, he got snipped and she got snipped, and then after that, they kind of look at each other, but it's not the same. It's not the same anymore. Something's different, you know. 16th, says Liam. Celtic would finish 15th. Interesting. Championship, says Gavin Mills. Yeah. All right, so then do we really want Matt O'Reilly? Mid-table. Well, look, guys. So I just want to quickly see what's going on in the Chelsea game. Do we know what's happening there? 2-0 to Chelsea. Cole Palmer and Noni Madueke. Is he playing? Is he... Conor Gallagher is playing. Yeah, he is playing. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Look, I mean, wanted to bring to you the news about MANU KONE. Who was the player? It was the player. Someone brought in a player up to me earlier. Derek Smith. Here we go. I saw a story that Spurs are looking at Koki Makeda. So let's see if I can find that for us. It's from the 2nd of December. Here we go. Is this the story? Tottenham are expected to be busy in the January window. To dig deep to sign target Koki Makeda in the January window, it's been claimed Belgian outfit Union Saint-Gilloise have allegedly increased their valuation of the defender to a hefty figure. Spurs are desperate to sign another defender in January. Christian Romero's impressive partnership. I'll be honest, mate. I've never seen Koki Makeda play. So let's have a look at what we're dealing with here. FB refs. Is he Japanese? Yeah. Okay. Well, like that. Looks like he gets involved with the ball playing centre back, is he? Progressive passing distance. Good. Goals. Shot creating actions from a centre. He can't. I reckon he's playing as a fullback as well, though. Let's have a look. It's unusual to have a centre back, an out centre back, that is getting involved like that. Let's find out. Is he also doubling up as a centre back, as a fullback? Nope, he isn't. He's just doing good bits. How old is he? 26 years old, though. I don't think we're going to sign a 26-year-old Derek. He does look like a good player. But again, for Union Saint-Gilloise, sort of similar conversation to some of these other like players we're looking at. How do we know what level they're really at until they play against really good players? So let me ask you this, guys. I want everyone now to spend the last couple of minutes with me. Just, I want you guys to throw. What's this? Okay, bro, you clearly have issues. We were literally top of the league at full strength. That aimed at me? Oh no, aimed at this guy. Okay. Carry on having your arguments. Yeah, he does know a thing or two about a hidden gem. Guys, let me write down in the comment section, right? Last 5 minutes, I want to see three names, a centre back, a midfielder, and a forward that would be your well, do two. Do one, your dream, and we'll like do like capital D followed by a colon, then three names that you would like your dream trio signings coming in, and then R after that for realistic, and your three names that you coming in: a defender, a midfielder. Well, it can be any. Actually, I'm not gonna hold you to those positions. Anything you want. D for your dream, R for your reality. Let's see what's coming up. Branthwaite, Locatelli, Rafinha. Wow. Locatelli, Manuel Locatelli from Juve fame. Well, listen, if you're someone who's not of the, if you don't mind slow players that are technically good, then Locatelli's your guy. Brilliant player. But he is not fast. He is slow as snails. No, he's not slow as snails, but he's a technical. He's just like a, he's like a chess player, isn't he? Blaine's in the house. What's happening, Blaine? Good to see you, my man. Todibo and Jimenez. He only wants two. He's not being greedy. I said you could have three, Blaine. Said you could have three. Dragusin, Todibo, Gallagher, Jota, Bakayoko. Okay, so you're taking five. Todibo, Jota, Girassi. Wow, Girassi. Now, he's a guy who is either suddenly figuring out his career is important at the age of 27 and he's stepping up, or he's in the purplest of purple patches this year. Good luck to him, though. I don't want a player that's 27 that's only done it for half a season, and he has done very well, but not for me. Tottingham's, that's not Angie's fault. Oh, you're still having your little argument. Okay. Dream is Todibo, Gallagher, Jota. I don't think that's unrealistic, you know. Jota's free. Gallagher's 35 million. Todibo's just whether or not we pay. Listen, at the end of the day, when it says, when Romano's saying that the Todibo deal could fall apart because they don't want to rush into the transfer, if Daniel Levy picks up the phone and says, how much do you want? And they say, we want 45 million quid, but we're not ready to do it yet. If he went, okay, here's 55 million quid. Now, can we sign the paperwork tomorrow? I'm pretty sure Todibo would be on a flight to London. But because money talks. But I still think that Todibo is going to go to United. I said that from the start. I think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to do it as soon as he gets permission to do it. Todibo, Vermeeren, Noosa. You going for the youngsters. That Vermeeren looks like a really good player, doesn't he? That Arthur Vermeeren, Deshaun. Like your name, Deshaun. I think there was a basketball player called Deshaun Butler. But I don't think it was D apostrophe. I think it was D-A-S-H-A-W-N. Because when I was younger, I started Googling myself to see if I was anywhere. And there was just this basketball player called Deshaun Butler everywhere. Eating my lunch. In Branthwaite, Locatelli, Rafinha, go. Sessegnon, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Perisic, Lloris, Dyer. Yeah, don't mind that. Happy for all of that. Dragusin, Rafinha, Gallagher is your realistic ones. Rafinha, where's this Rafinha coming from? Everyone wants a bit of Rafinha. That was a link that happened at the end of the window, wasn't it, in the summer? But we haven't seen anything about it since. Dragusin, Gallagher, Jota, says Therdus. That is realistic. I would not be surprised. Everyone's okay with Jota, are they? Samantha saying Dragusin, Gallagher, Chiesa. Where are we getting Chiesa from? He's not coming to Tottenham. Is there any links for Tottenham? Chiesa to Tottenham? Come on. Tottenham Hotspur ability to step closer to strengthening their strike force after making a move for Enrico Chiesa. Is this a couple of days ago? What? When was this out? He's 31 years old, though. We are talking about the same Federico Chiesa, right, from Juve. Listen, I've never even seen that link. I have never even seen that link. And if we're gonna get, I love Chiesa. He's an absolute beast. But that's a strange one. 31 years old. I don't know. Interesting though, Sam. So we must have 8 homegrown players in our squad. Currently, Maddison, Lloris, Skip, Davies, Sarr, Whiteman, Sessegnon, Foster. Lloris isn't homegrown. You're thinking of Maddison, Brennan Johnson. I think you're missing, not Lloris. Bob down under. Lloris is French. You got Bob. You got Maddison, Brennan Johnson, Skip, Davies. Sarr's not homegrown yet. He'll become homegrown next year. Whiteman, Sessegnon, Foster, and the other one is Brandon Austin. Got 3 goalkeepers. I don't dream, Sean. So Todibo, Dragusin, Jota, and Jimenez. Yeah, I just want those 3. Everyone's okay with this. Everyone will be okay, right? Dragusin, Gallagher, Jota. Seems to be cool. No, thanks to Locatelli. Would suit a more considered approach like Arsenal. Yeah. We go at 100 miles an hour. This is one of the things about the system, right? Like other teams like Manchester City press the life out of other teams to get the ball back. And then when they get the ball back, they take their time. They move the ball around slowly to exhaust the other teams, but allow them to catch their breath. Tottenham press like madmen to get the ball back. And then when we get it, we go at 100 miles an hour to try and create something. And then when we lose the ball, we press again. It's like having your foot. It's like driving down the M1 at 50 miles an hour in first gear. The accelerator pedal is in 10,000 RPM. Unnecessary. Drop it into second or third, or maybe even 5th gear. Get yourself down to about 4,000 revs and cruise, at least for some of the journey. You know, otherwise that's why we're going to have so many injuries. That's why we're going to have exhausted players. Dream for Donovan is Stones. Johnny Stones, Gallagher, Jota, realistic, Dragusin, Gallagher. Everyone seems to be cool with Dragusin, Gallagher, Jota. That's cool. Whoever is top of Postecoglou's list for signings will suit me. Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. Torino, Gallagher. Torino? Who's Torino? Do you mean Todibo? I'm guessing you mean Todibo. What's happening with Stanis Udumbo from Ajax? Yeah, I haven't heard any more about that. He's just a kid, though, isn't he? He would just come in. He's plays for Ajax's under, what they call it, Ajax Young, the young Ajax team. He would just come in and be somewhere else, you know, be in the kids academy thing. Todibo, Vlahovic, Todibo, Gallagher, Ferran Torres. Is he leaving Barcelona? Is he? Everyone seems to be okay. Mukoku as well. Yeah, Mukoku, like that guy. Very good. Barella. Interesting. Tottenham doesn't want Dragusin. You want Tosin as a homegrown. So you want 2 homegrown. Who's Raziak? What's Raziak? Only Raziak I've heard of, Gregor Raziak. Gregor Raziak from the 2000s, that lanky Polish guy. Don't know. Maybe I'm missing. I don't know. Is there another Raziak now? Antonio Nusa, love him. Superb stuff. Vermeeren, Bakayoko. Artur Vermeeren has doubled his salary, doubled his valuation in the last 3 weeks, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I did a video on him in like October, and his stats were incredible then, by the way. His stats were absolutely phenomenal. And then I went back and looked at it a couple of days ago, and his valuation's gone from like 16 million euros to 32 or something. And his stats now are just like top 10 percentile, top 5 percentile for everything. I think you'll be hearing that guy's name for a long time to come. Excuse me. Very gassy. Mbappe wants to move. There you go, mate. Chiesa, Gallagher, Todibo. Girassi is only 17 million though worth of punt. Yeah, but it's the problem, mate. It's not you're signing him on a 4-year contract, and if he turns out to be a flop, then you've taken up a homegrown player, probably going to pay him 70, 80 grand a week or whatever. Dewsbury Hall from Leicester. Like the player, but I just find him just a little bit underwhelming. Locatelli is the perfect number 6 for Ange. Just think Basuma is not a 6, but rather an 8. Too unreliable in front of our box. Yeah, I don't disagree about the unreliable. I think the Basuma's a better 8, to be honest. I do. I think the Bentancur should be the 6 when he comes back. And then, we've got so many options. If you go and get Gallagher, you've got so many options then. You've got Bentancur that can play a 6 or an 8. You've got Gallagher that could play 6, 8, or 10. You've got Basuma that could play 6 or an 8. You've got Decky that could play an 8 or a 10, even though he's not played an 8 before. I think he could. You've got Decky that can play on the right or the left. You've got Maddison that could probably play right, left, or in the 10. Pape Sarr that could play 6 or an 8. If Lo Celso stays, you've got an 8 or a 10. Like the amount of options that you could muck around with be incredible. It'd be like Lego, It's just a hosh posh of bits and pieces, but you can build whatever you want with it out of those options. Ruben Diaz, KDB and Haaland. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I'm glad you said that's the dream. Maxime Kakare, Jimenez, Alan Maturo. It looks like everyone's happy with Dragusin, Gallagher, and Jota. Most people are anyway. We're not going to get Cole Palmer, mate. I'm missing so many chats here. Appreciate everyone coming through. We've got a super chat. Actually, my dream is to learn how to defend in EAFC 24. Mate, I've never figured it out. The amount of money I've spent buying FC points and all that stuff on that bloody game. I might buy shares in Electronic Arts because they must make a fortune from mugs like me who go, oh, you know what it is? I know what I'm missing. If I just spend another £100, I'll get an Mbappe in a pack, and that will fix my problems. And then all you get 50 players and 47 of them are duplicates. Untradeable duplicate mugs. Anyway, appreciate you, Blaine, mate. Yeah, my dream is to learn how to defend in the AFC as well. Ridiculously difficult game. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to let you go. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. Really appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. Looks like everyone, obviously everyone's got their own slight tweaks on it, takes on it, but it looks like a lot of people here seem to be okay with a potential January window of Gallagher, of Dragusin and Jota, even though they prefer other names, bigger names. People are on board with it, which is cool. Very cool. If you're going to the game tomorrow, at this stage, I am going. I'm a bit annoyed that it's New Year's Eve because I've got plans. But make sure you smash the like button, guys, on your way out. Make sure you hit the subscribe if you haven't already. If you are at the game tomorrow and you see me, come over and say hello. I love saying hello to everybody. And if I can get there, I'll also be doing the fan cams afterwards in the usual spot outside the South Stand. Let me know, guys, in the comments below afterwards if there's anyone you'd like me to review. If you've got any players that you'd like us to take a look at, deep dive into the Y Scout, we can do all that stuff on the next show. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the attention you've given the channel today. Have a great one. Have a great weekend. Have a great New Year's Eve if I don't see you. I'll see you in 2024. And as always, come on, you Spurs!